Hello, namaskar. It's Tuesday today, the 16th of April 2024. It's around 1:40 p.m. Tuesday. I'm in Georgetown, and I'm being um, drilled. I'm being tested at this point about leadership qualities. Who can be leaders? Um, most of the people designated as leaders are usually educated people qualified with a certificate for some task in a certain department, in a certain division in the health services or the social arena. There might be leaders in the health sector, leaders in the public sector, leaders in the private sector, leaders in management, in business, leaders of administrative abilities. So we have people expressing leadership in various arts, sciences, and directions of being. But when we speak about who can govern all of humanity at one time, now suppose it's a national holiday and everybody's out. The leaders don't perform, there's no office open, there's no job. How they're gonna perform, what they're gonna administrate about, what they're gonna lead about, what they're gonna speak about. So over the people here, usually we have the politicians come in to govern the society, to keep the unhealthy elements at bay, to protect the country, to lead the people into better shores and pastures, and so on. So we have a very testy point how we can choose a leader, a political leader who can bring glory to everybody, who can be selfless to people. Most people elect a leader from their own ethnicity, their own religion, their own clan, their own tribe to lead them, because they feel that these people will do justice to them. They will have them at their heart. They will know their weaknesses, their needs, their feelings and so on. So sensitivity plays a very part, something like a psychic intuiting or feeling what the organism has to become, what it needs, what it at the right time when to give, and so on. So most people feel comfortable with leaders who come out of their own familiarity, from their own kin and kith and kin, from their own villages and neighborhoods and so on. More so, they feel more comfortable when the leaders and themselves have shared a common goal, a common upbringing, they have roots together, they have some connection together, karmas together. Either they grew up together, or they study together, or they have some feeling or connection together, and they prefer leaders to come out from those dominations to represent them, to speak on their behalf. Not always you find leaders being vital men of strong vitality, energy, forceful people, earthbound people with strong appetites for taste, pleasure, and senses. Sometimes leaders, they display the intellect, they rule by the intellect apart from the vital. Some people, they are spiritual leaders, like the Ayatollah Khomeini, who is a spiritual leader among the Muslims in Iran. They elected him as their leader. He has certain sterling qualities, maybe purity, maybe goodness, maybe long-term dedication to his religion, to his field, and so on. So sometimes people also prefer a leader to be of some sort of immaculate conception, in that they are pure from birth. There's no scar, there's no wound, there's no distortion in the character, in the personality, in the body, perfect in limb, perfect in mind, perfect in soul. But those situations are rare, because they say from birth, when you take board the evil force, the force of rivalry, enmity, they start to stalk you from birth. They start to lay pitfalls, how they can tailor you, how they can moderate you, how they can control you. There are forces like that. So around us, there are friendly forces and there are hostile forces. So we may want to know how this leader will be born. For example, they say Jesus was taken by the Essenes and trained until he was ready as an adult, taken from a little boy and trained. Another group say he went to India to study with the wise and holy men. Another group said he remained with his father and mother, living as a good child, helping his father in his carpentry, his mother in the kitchen, in the home, and he would always pray in his free time. Well, nobody knows the real truth of that one, right? So leaders are of different colors, of different tempers, of different shades, and so on. So we make our leaders and our leaders make us. So in many cases, the leaders cannot lead effectively due to a defective point in the flow of time at a particular era of society. For example, if the society at this point is mostly material, leader may have a very hard time bringing them around to intellectual pursuits, intellectual monumentations of the social factors, making intellectual landmarks and so on. That would be difficult. Rather, they would be putting up various landmark bastions, various points and centers to illustrate their own calling and nature, and temples like discos, like food marts, like all of those representations of the physical aspect, that would decorate and modify the physical aspect of the being, right? Really, we would find centers for higher thinking, centers for the cultivation of the spirit, the mind, the body. People don't really concern about that. So there's an endless and bottomless barrel in which we just keep pouring our material needs and our intellectual endeavors, but it's never being filled. So sometimes leaders are not always intellectual people who can guide humanity, You see, the perfect man, according to Shanamurtiji, is a sadvipra, meaning that he's physically strong, intellectually developed, and spiritually evolved. In this way, people who lead mostly with the intellect, they don't have a conscience. Sometimes they don't have discrimination, which is known in India or in yoga system as Vivek and Vairag. Sometimes he might be plagued by kamini, kanchan, money, and gold. All these are fine